see me? Alright, sweet. Looks like we're live for the first time. I'm Mixon. If you haven't met me yet, welcome to it. And you can follow me on all platforms at ibemxn, because I really do be mixing. Alright, so I'm going to do a beat breakdown for you guys today over my Xavier Wulf Type Beat that you guys like so much. And if you don't know already, go vote every Thursday on my Instagram page, and we can just interact there, vote for what beat you think is best, and then we can kind of go from there. Uh, Really, I'm just starting out at this stuff. I've been making beats for a long time, but new to the live stream, so please let me know what you guys think and everything like that in the comments. I'm really looking forward to giving you a full breakdown of this beat. So here's really how I made the melody for this beat right here. So first I want to play like a little bit of what I think is the best part, which is the hook, obviously. Uh, when everything gets together. Uh, so I'm gonna start with that. Okay, so that's the main hook line, and that pretty much carries out through the majority of the song. So for the melodies, what I did here is I used one of my classic VSTs that's called Nexus. So it's just this little piano, and that basically repeats to the next one. I wanted to make sure that it was 16 bars instead of my 8, just because this one I felt like was a little bit more continuous. Um, so I was just wanting to look at this, particularly just because, like, so what I do here is I just layer my notes here and here, just so I can, like, get everything to sound nice. It's a nice unison chord that I wanted to do. And I kind of fleshed out the chord here because what I wanted to do here is notes G, F, sharp, and F. And I'm working in a minor scale here. I'm working in the A sharp minor scale. So this is really E, E sharp, and yeah, everything's pretty much sharp in the A sharp minor scale. So really this is just E sharp. So we went with yeah, it just felt like that those sounded best. And as we went forward, I took one note up and made a little bit more of a timbre, or not timbre, more of a like melodic breakdown. So it sounds different, but it's pretty much the same notes here. Just one up, one more for the unison, and then made it just that pattern. That's the main piano really, and it kind of just it repeats. It's kind of got a repetitive pattern here. The main thing that changes is that I layer the F, which is really the E sharp, like I said, and then D sharp here to like add a little bit more of a flair to like bring it back down to the A that was in the unison. The next thing that I did was another Nexus plug-in here, just more or less an arpeggio, so that like it's hitting the main notes here. You can see that it's hitting the A here, here, and then it goes up to the F that we were at. Again, that's a E sharp. So it just follows basically this main pattern to get through, and I kind of like broke it down so I didn't have to like go up to the F every single time, and it just gave it a little bit more room, I guess, to like let the main melody line play through. This is just more to be like in backing. So like if we play the two together, it kind of like plays nice. So it's like it's a nice backing track that we have with it. add some texture, some spookiness, you know, and that's all nice. And then the main other one that I did was this Omnisphere thing right here. It's let's see. So it just so basically I broke this down into two different sections. So I just wanted to have this be the main little layer, and then we went into, it's the same sound if I'm not mistaken, it's just going up a little bit more, and then we go, I think this one's actually different because I think I wanted to have more of a gate sound to it. So I'm going to pull up the Omnisphere plugin here so you can take a look at it. So this one's just like O's, and this like really is, has a lot of weird sounds. So I went like really high with it on this one, so it would be right there. Those are the notes that I'm mainly using. You can see it in here. And that's basically what I used that to do, and it was more of a texture than anything. And then this one, it's like I said, it's the same, but just an octave higher. And it's just nice because I think it sounds gated, and it like makes it give like a nice spooky feel to the whole track. It's really like, I don't know, like I kind of added that as like a background noise, and that I think it ended up being one of the better sounds out of the whole track. Now I just really think that there's a really cool thing that you can do when you're making your own beats and doing your own sauce. It's just like you really just like sometimes put things in there that are like more filler than they are anything else. I felt like that was going to be the case, but I think they kind of steal the show because they're kind of like just spooky screams, and it adds to the eerie vibe of the whole track. Next thing I'm going to go into is the drums. So if we solo those drums out, it's just like this. Yeah, so with those drums, right? I started with my 808s because I typically like to do that, and I made this actually after I did the main melody, and it basically just follows the same structure like as the other melody. I just didn't want to have very much clashing, so it's really quite simple. It's just following the rhythm that I wanted to have on this track. And I mean, it's just a typical 808, nothing special about it. Make sure that you use your envelope on it. So like whenever you're doing a actual sample as opposed to like a bass from like Flex or from Omnisphere, you really want to make sure that your envelope is like this. So it's like only like holds the note as long as you're holding it on the keyboard. So it's like if it's a short note, like if you want to do that, it just make sure that it ends as soon as you're done touching it on your MIDI keyboard, or however long it is on the note that you draw in, or however you like to do it. Other than that, we had our kick, which we layered. It was pretty. It's the same melody. You want to make sure that with all your kicks that they should be in the same melody, like that your 808 is in. Should follow the same note structure. Make sure that it's in key. If you don't know how to do that, you can just go to your sample here, go to the audio editor, detect pitch regions, and it should tell you there, and then you just put it on that so it's in the right scale. And then you go from there, and I made sure all the notes matched up because you can see here it's the same here as it is here. It just follows the A, F, F, A, D, D, A, F, F, A, D, D. But yeah, that's just the main bass line and the kick. So I had that going. And then I went in with the snare pattern here. And it kind of continues out through like that. So I didn't want to use, like, a lot of times when I'm working on a track, I'll use a different snare or a rim shot or something else to do these little accent marks, like how it is over here, like that extra snare point. I like to use a different sound more often than not, but I felt like this track, with the way that the melody was and how like simple everything was, I kind of wanted to put it all together like as a simple track. Um, then I also used my hi-hats here. And really what I like to do for my sauce on my hi-hats, I really like to, like when I'm drawing them in, what I like to do, let's just start a new pattern here. So I like to typically go like 4 steps here, copy it, and bring it over. And just snap on that. And I'll adjust like the velocity. So like when I'm like using this, see how it kind of gives it that little bounce to it? Makes it like a little bit more interesting when you're working on a little beat like that. Just a little game for you guys. But with this, I also went into all of the hi-hats and made sure I had my rolls. And you want to accent like the parts specifically that are like breaks in the drum, maybe, where it's like got some empty space, and you can kind of feel for it, like when it's like in empty space and it doesn't have the right stuff to it, more or less. I mean, like, you'll see it when you're making your own beats. You'll see it like there's like very clear open spaces. So like when I'm listening to this without the hi-hats, or if I was just doing like a standard hi-hat, like, let me copy that, cut that, and just use regular hi-hats. So like if I was doing that for like regular hi-hats throughout the track, it's pretty boring, right? And you can hear like there's definitely like open pockets of like where things are not sounding like how they're supposed to, or at least like not interesting enough where somebody would want to rap on it or otherwise. But like you can kind of just tell that like you need to have something other than just your standard like ta-ta-tas, like just like regular like quarter beat, just going 1 1 1 1 1 1 1, just because you need a little flair. The artist wants something that's more exciting than just something basic and not interesting at all. So with this, we have our like a nice slides here on the different pitches. And yeah, I mean, really, like, you can just do your rolls too. If you don't know how to do rolls within FL, you can just like basically create a line here, or let's see, what do I have it on? Just do that, extend it out, and then on here, I'll just switch whatever like type of sound you want, and hit Control U on your, or Command U if you got a Mac. Control U just to like make it roll for each one of those like notes. But like when you're doing rolls, I mean, just think about like what would sound most dope to you. And with this beat, the way that I kind of do things, it was just like it all kind of came together pretty quickly. I was just, when I was making this beat, I was just seeking out something. It's like as soon as I made the piano, I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely make something dark with this, because it just feeds right into like what kind of beats I typically like to make when it's like a dark trap type beat or something like that. And like you kind of hear it throughout the course of the beat that it's you know, I feel like it's just destined for Xavier Wulf. So maybe one day it will be his, or maybe it'll be one of your guys' out there. But this is basically what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna try and cut these into little shorts and some reels here and there. Um, you know, but this is basically my first breakdown outside of the ones that I did before for Kid K. But I just wanted to see what you guys think about this. Do you like this format? Do you want it to be something like more open where we discuss, or how do you guys want it to go? Just drop a comment. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how I made this. Pretty. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. You make sure when you're an artist, you gotta have a sick tag.
Oh, God, it's mixin'.
So yeah, you gotta have something like that, something cool. Get like one of your friends to just say something like that, and then just mix it up so it doesn't, sound bland. um, but yeah, so other than that, that's just I'm kind of rambling now, but this is just basically how I made this beat. Uh, Nothing too complicated. Um, and if you guys like want any tips and tricks, just hit me up. I'm more than happy to share like what I know about making beats. And yeah, this was my first breakdown, so we'll get better. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and I'll drop the video down below, or put like a little info card up here or something. Thank you guys. I'm Mixin, and thanks for breaking this beat down with me. All right.